There comes a moment in a woman's life when she stops being nice. Not because she has suddenly become bitter. Not because she has lost her kindness. But because she has reached a point of exhaustion. Physically, emotionally, and psychologically drained from carrying a role she never truly chose. For years, she has smiled when she didn't want to. She has kept her voice soft, even when her soul screamed for her to be loud. She has nodded in agreement when her mind was filled with arguments. She has said yes when every fiber of her being wanted to say no. And why? Because she was told that's what a good woman does. That's what makes her likable. That's what makes her valuable. That's what makes her worthy of love. But something shifts. Sometimes it happens slowly, like a quiet rebellion growing inside her, barely noticeable at first. Other times it happens in an instant, an event, a betrayal, a moment of overwhelming clarity where she realizes, this is not who I am. And when that moment comes, when she stops being the woman the world expects her to be, everything changes. The silent conditioning of niceness from childhood. Girls are taught that being nice is one of the most important things they can be. Not intelligent, not independent, not strong, but nice. Harriet Lerner, in The Dance of Anger, describes how women are raised with an unspoken contract. Keep the peace. Don't upset anyone. Don't make waves. If you do, you will be punished, not always with words, but with disapproval, rejection, or isolation. Gilligan's research into women's moral and psychological development revealed something profound. Many women grow up believing that their value comes from being accommodating, selfless, and nurturing to others, often at the cost of their own needs. Their voices are shaped by external expectations, not by their inner truth. Over time, they learn to silence themselves, to push their true thoughts, desires, and ambitions deep into the background of their own lives, to sacrifice their authenticity in the name of approval. Because niceness isn't just about politeness, it's about social survival. But here's the reality. No one ever became truly happy by making everyone else comfortable. The psychological cost of suppression. Carl Jung's shadow theory tells us that everything we repress, our anger, our ambition, our frustrations, doesn't just disappear. It festers beneath the surface, shaping our behaviors in ways we don't fully understand. The nice girl, the one who avoids conflict, the one who says, it's fine, when it's not, she is not free. She is carrying an invisible burden, a weight that she cannot even name. The longer a woman suppresses her true self, the greater the emotional toll. Anxiety, burnout, and chronic stress are often the consequences of living a life where boundaries are blurred, where her own needs come last. The cost of this conditioning is high. She becomes disconnected from herself. She no longer knows what she wants because she has spent so long prioritizing what others expect of her. But eventually, suppression leads to a breaking point. And when that point arrives, when she finally stops pretending, when she chooses to stop being nice in the way the world demands, she undergoes a transformation that is both terrifying and liberating. The fear of no longer being liked. One of the biggest fears women face when they stop being nice is the fear of being unliked. Being nice is often a survival strategy, an attempt to remain included, to be accepted, to avoid conflict. But the truth is, people who only value you for your compliance were never truly valuing you in the first place. When a woman stops being nice, she notices something. Some people become uncomfortable. They don't know how to respond to her setting boundaries. They call her difficult, cold, ungrateful. Some even attempt to guilt her back into her old role. You've changed, they'll say, as if growth were a crime. But the ones who truly care, the ones who see her for who she really is, they will respect her more, not less. Breaking free from the ego's trap. One of the reasons women struggle to stop being nice is because they've built an identity around it. The ego thrives on roles, on playing the part of the good daughter, the caring partner, the self-sacrificing friend. But Carl Jung reminds us that true individuation, the process of becoming one's most authentic self, requires us to integrate all parts of ourselves, including the parts we were told were unacceptable. Anger is not bad. Speaking up is not bad. Saying no is not bad. But if you have been conditioned to believe that these things make you unlovable, you will avoid them at all costs, even at the cost of yourself. To truly evolve, a woman must confront the fear of stepping out of the role she was assigned. She must reclaim the parts of herself that were buried beneath years of social conditioning. She must accept that growth often means loss. The loss of false friendships, of outdated expectations, of identities that no longer serve her. The emotional and psychological cost of this conditioning internalized silence doesn't just shape identity. It distorts boundaries. It leads to burnout, anxiety, and disconnection from the self. It makes a woman a stranger in her own life. When a woman stops being nice, she doesn't become cruel. She becomes honest. She doesn't become selfish. She becomes self-aware. She doesn't lose her kindness. She learns to extend it to herself first. The freedom of not caring anymore there is an indescribable peace that comes with no longer seeking approval. When a woman stops being nice, she doesn't become mean. She becomes free. She stops apologizing for existing. She stops bending over backward to accommodate people who wouldn't do the same for her. She starts listening to her own needs, her own voice, her own desires. She stops explaining herself. She stops justifying her choices. She no longer allows guilt to manipulate her into saying yes when she wants to say no. She realizes that her worth was never in how much she could give to others, but in who she is, wholly and unapologetically. Some will misunderstand this. Some will say she has changed. But the truth is, she hasn't changed at all. She has simply stopped pretending. And that is the most powerful transformation of all. The question you must ask yourself, the question is, when that moment comes for you, when you feel that shift inside you, when you realize you no longer want to live by other people's expectations, will you have the courage to embrace it? Because the truth is, no one else will free you and no one else will give you permission, and no one else will tell you that it's okay to stop being nice in the way the world has demanded. You have to decide. And when you do, when you choose to stop living in the box that was built for you, something incredible happens. You don't lose yourself. You find yourself. If this video resonated with you, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share your thoughts in the comments. Let's keep the conversation going, because true transformation begins when we start questioning everything. See you in the next one.